just a little recap I'm quickly doing for this chapter so that we don't waste much time, and then I can start with a new topic. The summary part was left last. Okay, right. So first and foremost, we had understood about the whole chapter of consumer protection. We had started with the need, why we need to protect the consumers, right? That is a very important part of consumer protection. After the need came the functions, like what consumer protection is all about and how consumer needs to be aware of his rights. Then we spoke about consumer exploitation. What is consumer exploitation and the different ways, like adulteration, underweighing, overweighing, misrepresentation, not informing the customer about the goods. We learned about the four important methods of consumer protection. That was self-regulation, consumer health, consumer associations, etc. Then we spoke about consumer protection needs to that the consumer protection, obviously it acts to protect the interests and rights of the consumer. Then we spoke about importance of consumer awareness. Please put yourselves on mute, then it'll be easy for me to explain. And we also spoke about consumers having the right to safety, information, choice. Of course, I had told you that for the last three parts are not there, but at least the definition of unfair trade practices you should do in case it comes with the consumer rights. Okay, that is on page number, I'm telling you, please open there. Page number 40. What is unfair trade practice? Just that definition you put in. Meet and Krishna, good morning. Can you all hear me? Krishna, Meet.
Good morning, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to tell you that I was just telling the others, Krishna, you have to scan your text because now with the lockout increasing so many chapters, you will not manage later. We'll be starting with final accounts later once school reopens, and there'll be lots to do then. So please try to get some scanned copies from your friends of the text and start working on them. Because already I'm on chapter 5, I'm going to start today. 4 chapters we have completed. That's quite a lot of work that you have to do. Right? Second, whatever worksheets I'm doing, please keep a full documentation of them. All the question answers, the things I'm checking and sending you even to the email. So that what is happening is that PDF document, once you download it, you have it ready with you and you can just attach it in your notebook as this chapter work you have done. Otherwise, once school reopens, the whole thing you will have to do again, which I don't want you to spend much time again doing the same work which has already been done. So please take out the copies and attach them in your notebook. Okay? I was just telling them I was revising with consumer protection. I just one definition I wanted you all to add on of unfair trade practices. That is on page number 40. Please look there. It means a trade practice which for the purpose of promoting the sale, use or supply of any goods or for provision of any service adopts an unfair means or any deceptive means. Okay, that part you need to do in case they ask you what is an unfair trade practice. I hope all of you have found it. Page number 40. Is it clear? Great. So just a recap quickly, I'm going through the slides of consumer protection. I hope you don't have any doubts. We had done number 1, what is the need for consumer protection? How we know that business has a responsibility to the consumer. The functions of business, how business needs to satisfy the needs and expectations, how government plays a very important role in providing fair trade practices, and consumers need to have self-help. They need to be aware through different ways in which they can approach consumer associations and consumer councils to protect their rights. Okay. Second, we had come to the meaning of consumer exploitation. I had shown you a video on it, that what is consumer exploitation. It should not harm the mental happiness of the consumer because only for the sake of the producer who tries to harm the needs of the consumer through his own selfish gains. What were the important types? We had spoken about overcharging, underweighing, adulteration, misleading advertisements, and not informing the consumer about the adverse impacts of the product. After we moved from there, we had done about consumer awareness. Only remind me later that the importance of consumer awareness, this I need to give you. Okay. Consumer awareness is an act of making sure that the buyer or the consumer is aware of the information about products, goods, services, and his rights. Different campaigns are being held today, like the Jago Grahak Jago campaign, okay, and which is one of the most successful campaigns for consumer awareness today. It helps the consumer to take the right decisions and make the right choices. After we did consumer awareness, I moved on to the next part, that is the 4 important methods of consumer protection. We spoke about business self-help, consumer self-help, consumer associations, government regulations. This also comes as a 5 marker. Please explain the 4 important methods of consumer protection. So kindly do them well. Don't tell me, ma'am, you have not done it. We don't remember. We have done it. Do these things properly, the parts I'm telling you. Then the 2 really important parts of the chapter, which generally comes as 2 long questions. Number 1, the features of COPRA, that is the Consumer Protection Act 1986. And number 2, the important rights of the consumer. 2 most important parts of the chapter, children. In fact, every alternate year, the consumer rights are asked. So do them very well in details. We spoke about the different features of the Consumer Protection Act. What is the social welfare law? I spoke about a background of Magna Carta and how it is applicable. Then how we should comprehend and safeguard the interests of the consumers. The 3 important special consumer redressal machineries, which are at the district level, at the base level, then at the state level and at the national level. We spoke about simple and inexpensive procedures for consumer protection, how it covers both goods and services. There's a time frame. We spoke about class action, where we have a group of people whom we have been, who can, one person can speak on behalf of the others and file a complaint. Then we spoke about the unfair trade practices, whose definition I told you today, checking on overcharging, and the importance of consumer protection concepts. After features, the last part which I moved on to, the important rights of the consumer. What is the right to safety? Can anyone tell me the right to safety? Please raise your hand or whatever and answer. Who's going to try right to safety for me? Yes, Divyata.
The right to safety is to protect the consumer from the hazardous products being sold in the market, which can be hazardous to their life and the property.
Okay, very good. Who will try the next right for me? Avni, can you try the next right? After right to safety. Someone else? Right to information, right to choice. Children, you have to start studying. Please don't do things for the last moment. Each one needs to try at least one right. We have 6 rights and there are 6 of you. So one has been told. Muskan, which one will you do? Avni, Meet, please look at them.
Ma'am, I'll do the 4th one.
Okay, Avni, quickly.
Second one. Right to be.
Quickly.
Ma'am, right to be informed. The consumer has the right to be informed about the quality, quantity, and the purity and the standard of price of the goods. It is his responsibility of the manufacturer and distributor to give complete information about the product, including the ingredients, date of manufacture, technical specification.
Okay, very good.
Ma'am, doubt.
Tell the next one. Right to choice. Third one, who's going to try?
Ma'am, can I?
Yeah, please do.
Right to choose that, ma'am, in this right, the consumer has the right to choose anything according to his will.
Okay.
What else? That the seller should not use his aggressive selling techniques to sell the product.
and he should be free to make the suitable product from his own point of view. Okay. Next one.
I didn't understand.
Ma'am,
point
I'm
number five.
Sorry, Meet, I'm not being able to hear you. There's some problem.
Ma'am, I have a doubt in point number 5.
I'm not getting what he's saying.
ma'am, he has a doubt in point number 5.
Point number 5. Okay, I'll clear it. Let's quickly hear Muskan say point number 4.
Ma'am, the fourth is the right to be heard. Ma'am, the consumer has the right to register his dissatisfaction and and he has a right to be heard in appropriate forums.
Okay. In which way how can he be, why is right to be heard so important? Why other 3 rights become?
Ma'am, because he needs to protest
Okay, he needs to
for
protest.
his dissatisfaction.
Correct. And he needs to obviously be able to voice his opinion. Otherwise, the right to choose, the right to be informed has no meaning if he is not able to get himself heard and express himself. Yes, Samit. What is your problem with right to seek redressal? What have you not understood there? Who's going to
Ma'am, I
explain?
didn't understand that point.
You are having difficulty with that point. Can anyone try? Otherwise, I'll explain once more.
I can.
Okay, Divyata, try out.
The right to redressal is like the consumer can claim if he has been exploited by any manufacturer, he can go to the court and voice his opinion.
Okay, but then how is it different from right to be heard then? That is what we are doing also in right to be heard. See, here it means the right to get a claim, and you also want your complaints to get settled against the manufacturer or seller if any unfair trade practice has been done. You want your complaint to get settled. To redress means to get a solution to the problem. Basically, that is the right to redress. Okay. So here it says the consumer has been granted the right to redress if the performance. When will he be able to get his claim settled? Suppose it is found that the quality, the performance of the product is unsatisfactory, it is not proper. In that case, he can go and appeal to the court and he can redress his complaint, right? Then it says the product needs to be, in such a case, how will he be redressed? What solution will be given? The product can be either repaired, it can be replaced, or it can be taken back by the seller. These are the things the seller needs to do. In the case, if the consumer has gone and complained, and the consumer also has to give a sample that, like how his product is unsatisfactory. In that circumstance, the particular person will have the right to, the consumer will have the right to redressal, and the seller will have to replace the good according to the mismatch of the quality which he has provided. The right to seek redressal will also reduce any kind of post-purchase doubts, and the grievances of the consumers can get reduced. Meet, I hope now it's clear to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Who's going to explain the last right, the right to consumer education? Zara or Krishna, one of you can try.
Can I?
Okay.
Ma'am, according to this right, the consumer must be made aware of the laws that are made for the customer so that he can be protected from being cheated by a manufacturer.
Okay. What else?
Ma'am, and an ignoring customer cannot be protected from malpractices by the manufacturer.
Okay, good. So clear, I think we've come to the end of rights. One more thing I had told you to study was the glance. Please open to page number 42. Okay, that glance part you can just have a read up. Okay.
Ma'am, we don't have to do page number 41, na?
You don't,
41 and
you don't need to
42.
do page number, this one, 4.8. Basic concepts you don't need under the Consumer Protection Act.
Ma'am, and 4.9 also.
Yeah, remedies not needed, machinery not needed. Machinery, just you know that there are 3 important machineries: district forum, state commission, and national commission. That's all, just the names, in case it comes as a short question that you've already done in the features, so you don't need it as details. Okay. And what is unfair trade practices that I told you to do? Please come to question bank. There is one more question on page 44 which is not in the chapter, but it is a general knowledge question. Explain the responsibilities of consumer. That needs to be done. Okay? Clear? That what are the responsibilities? He will ask for full information. He should insist on cash memos. That means he will ask for a bill when he's making a purchase. He should look for qualities like the ISI mark and the AG mark. And he should not get carried away by advertisements. And he should be able to file complaint and seek redressal against any kind of corruption done to him. Right? So these pointers need to be done. This chapter, a little bit of notes I'll have to send you because quite a few things have not been explained too much in detail. Okay. Now I'm coming to the end of this topic. Anything else you want to ask? Otherwise, I'll be starting with e-commerce today.
No, ma'am.
Anyone has any more questions? Avni, Zara?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Meet and Krishna, chapter clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great.
Yes, ma'am.
Divyata, Muskan clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great.